Hello everyone and welcome. Welcome to a Facebook Live from Inking, Idaho. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to do something so fun. We are going to work with the card carrier die. This is one that when I opened the Bloom This Way catalog, it was the first thing I had to have. For those of you who have followed me for a while, you know how much I love a good box, and this is a good box. So it's been fun to play with. I figured out how to do 2 or 3 things with it, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. So let's go ahead and get started. Hold on, I'm just gonna fix my camera so that you can see what I'm doing. All right, are we straight? There we go. Nothing like working backwards. Everything's backwards in here. And tilt it up. All right, I think we got it. All right, so let's go through this, the process. The card carrier die, DI0386, put it on your list right now. Everybody needs one. This is so fun. This is a hunk of metal. This thing is just solid metal. So when you cut it, you need to cut 2 of these, and then you will cut 2 of the little handles as well. So this is how it comes. And then these are the ones that I showed you on my blog that we're going to make today. So this is what it normally looks like. This is just a little card carrier die. It holds probably 4 cards, 4 envelopes, pretty comfortably. And this is how it looks. This is what it's really supposed to do. Just stand up and be cute. But I figured that you could modify it and make it slightly chunkier and shorter by scoring it a little bit differently. So here's the second size, and then, you know, you can't stop at that. You have to go shorter and squattier. So here's the 3rd size. So let's go ahead and get started and learn how to do these. These are so cute. All right, so today, I'm just working with oatmeal cookie. I'm working with just neutral colors because I want you to be able to see the box and what we're doing, not be distracted by what's stamped on it or how it might look. So the first thing you're going to do is just fold on all the score lines. This has a gusseted edge to it, so you're going to score backwards and then forwards a little bit. And fold the bottom up. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. But we have to get one of these made so that you know how to do the others. I've already put some white liner tape on this just to save us a few minutes. And I stamped this one with the postage stamp, ATS, little tiny postage stamp. So it's really faint. I thought it would have just a tad bit more color to it, but it doesn't. So when you, not color, you know, I thought it would stamp a little darker. Let's just say that. All right, so after you fold on all the score lines, then you're ready to just put it together. So you just peel this off and line it up and put it together. And then turn it over, peel this one. Come on. Fold it flat, and then you can just fold that one in. So this is your basic box. Fold the bottoms in, and then your bottom in even further. I didn't put any on the bottoms, so I will do that right now. We'll just take a little piece and hope that it's the right size, because why should you measure, right? And then just make sure that your box is pretty square when you put your bottom in. And when you put that in, you're gonna see that it just fits perfectly straight right there. So if it's straight, it fits. And then your gusseted sides, just fold them in a little bit. And that's what your carrier looks like. So let's put a set of handles on. So we need 2 handles, and I just turn them back to back and get them ready to go. So for the first one, I just take some of the liquid glue and put a little bit on the bottom portion of it. And I just position this one in where I want it to go. just kind of like how tall I want it or how short I want it. Just, it's up to you. You can go much shorter. Lay it down on your grid paper though, so that you can make sure that it is straight. There. So now we have just one on. We know that it's straight. And since we know that that one is straight, we just line it up, line this one up. So what I do is I just layer it right on top of each other, hold on to it, and close my box. And it catches it. And it falls off. Well, you should probably wait for the glue to dry. We'll do it one more time. Line it up, and then just close your box. And then hang on to it. Okay, so that's the basic card carrier. All I did was just cut it on the die cut machine, and I just assembled it. That's all there is to it. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So this one is the one that we're going to start modifying. We're going to do two different ones today. So this one we're going to modify at a 1/2 inch. So by that, I'm going to take, let me see if you can see this. There's a score line right here and a score line right here. So this one is the one that I'm going to be measuring it on. So I'm going to lay that second score line on the 1/2 inch line right here on my paper cutter. And I'm just going to add a brand new score line. And because we're taking it in on the side, we have to take it in on the bottom, or else the bottom will not close. So I'm going to take the score line that's right here on the bottom, use that as my guide, and I'm just going to score a 1/2 inch in from there. So let's make a whole new one. And then you're going to do the same thing to this side. You're going to line up this second score line right here on the 1/2 inch line, and this bottom one, line that one up right there on the 1/2 inch line. Okay, now because we're modifying this a little bit, we have some surgery to do. So this is where it normally closes, so this is all cut out for you. Well, we just have to cut it out up to the next score line because we don't need that anymore. Same here. This is where the natural fold is, but now that we've modified it, we have to extend that. Okay, so now let's fold on our score lines. All I'm going to do is fold on my new score line for right now, and then the bottom and the side just like we normally would. I'm going to fold right here on my new score line. Then the bottom, then the side that already has the adhesive on it. Lay them flat and just peel this off. Why does this have to be the hardest part of any project? Okay, and then just line them up and put them together. Turn it over, take this off, and just close it. This one I'm actually going to hold a little bit because I didn't fold on that score line yet. So just make sure that it's correct. There we go. And now we have a box that is slightly wider. See the difference in those two? So it's a good 1/2 inch wider. Duh, we just scored it a 1/2 inch, right? I'm kind of smart like that. All right, so this is the original bottom where we would score it in. So we need to extend this one up to our new score line. There's the original, and then we need to extend this one. So now we just fold it in and fold it just like we normally would. So I'll take some of my white liner tape again. Put it on the bottom. If you were going to put something heavier in this, if you're going to fill it with candies or something heavier, I'd probably use liquid glue or 2 or 3 pieces of this just to make sure that it's nice and secure. That's pretty strong. I mean, this is pretty strong. And then just bend it in, and you're going to find both of the little score lines are going to give you a little bit of a bend, and you just have a new middle now. See? Okay, same thing again with the handles. I turned them back to back and put some adhesive on the bottom. And again, it's just a matter of how tall you want them or how short you want them. I mean, if you just barely did it, they'd be really, really tall like this. I like them down a little bit more. And then before it's really straight or dry, I lay it down here to make sure that it is straight. Oh, hey, you guys, thanks for joining me. Why don't you tell me where you're from? Write in and tell me where you're from. I had a couple of people ask me what my time zone was, so I know that they asked me what my time zone was because they wanted to know in their country. So I know we have some friends from abroad here. So now just kind of, that's just the best way to make a match, to be honest with you. I mean, there's probably a lot of you smarticles who can just eyeball that and line it up. Yeah, me, not so much. And then just get it on there. Okay, so if all else fails, just get more glue. Line it back up. Now this one is a little bit wider, which is why we're having a little bit of trouble picking up that handle. I might just have a little fit in a minute and just position it on myself, but we are going to give this a whirl. Okay, hold it for a minute. Make sure they're even. To me, that's the most important thing, is make sure they're even and centered. You don't want wonky handles. Nobody likes that. Okay, so here's our second one. Finished, and this one is a 1/2 inch shorter and a 1/2 inch wider. Isn't that fun? Did you see this cute stamp set? Did you see it? This has all sorts of Fun Stampers Journey products on it. It has the brayer, some paint, splashes, scissors, ink pads, stamps. I just randomly took a bunch of these and stamped it on there. So we'll have to fill this with some stamping supplies and give it to somebody. Anybody want it? Oh my gosh, look at all the hearts come across. Of course you want it. All right, we'll set that one aside and let's just do one more. This one I have stamped with the Dear Rose stamp set. And that's this one. It's the beautiful rose and some leaves, and I love these words. And then this has the dies that come with it. So the stamp set comes in a clear plastic like this. See that one? So in order to store it, I mean, you can really only open that 3 or 4 times, right? So they have these pouches for us. And so you take the stamp set out and this piece, and you slide it in the front. And then you put the divider in it. And on the back side is where you store your dies. So everything is together, all in one. Pretty smart of them. Okay, so for this one, we're going to make this one the shortest and the chunkiest. I would imagine you could probably go down and down and down until you have this thing super miniature, but I'm only going down a 1/2 inch and 1 inch today. So again, here's our original score line, those two right there. This is the gusset and this is the fold. So now we're going to lay this one on the 1 inch. 1 inch and score it. And then this is our regular score line for the bottom. So we're going to lay that on the 1 inch mark. Probably ought to go to 1 inch if that's what we're talking about. 1 inch. Okay, now I second guess myself. Is this one at 1 inch? Yes. Okay, same thing. On this one, you have the gusset line and the score line. So I'm going to take the score line and line it up at this 1 inch mark right here and score it. This is our regular bottom. So we're going to line that up on the 1 inch line and score it. Alrighty, same thing. Here we go. Oh, perhaps we should fold first. That does make things a lot easier. Folding only on my new score line, not any of the originals on the modified side, just my original here. Scoring my original here, and then my new modified one over here and over here. Flatten them back out and take this off. Oh, there you go. Probably don't even need this. I'm gonna cut it off. Okay, you know what, let's cut it off anyway. This is our regular little fold mark, but now that we've modified it, we go up to the score line and we just cut it off on the score line. You can fold it up with that on there. It's just extra bulk that you don't need. So if you do forget, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then just lay these on together. Make sure they line up right on the score line so that all of your shopping bag stuff is level. And then peel this one and just put these two together. And then just squish it. Make sure that it's nice and crisp. All right, so now we have one that's significantly chunkier by 1 inch. All right, so now we need to fold in the bottom. So again, we have to do a little surgery. This is our original line right here. So we just have to create a new one so that we can fold it in. This is our original line. And so we're going to create a new one on this side. And then fold it in and in and in. Let's get some white liner tape. We're getting kind of chunky here, so I think I'm going to put 2 pieces on here. Just in case I decide to use this, of which I will. See all that hanging over? Don't worry about it. Who needs to measure? I'll show you what to do with it. It's double sticky tape. It's adhesive, so we just fold it back on itself. Look, all better. All right, make sure it's square. Make sure it's nice and square and that it's not twisted at all. And seal your edges on the bottom. Let me see what this says here. Hold on just 1 second. Somebody's asking a question. And all right, make sure it's square. Make sure now I'm listening to myself. Isn't that fun? At all. Hold on, guys. Seal your edges on the bottom. Okay, and now we're done. I thought somebody's asking me a question on there. I thought I could catch it, but it's already scrolled up. There's a lot of things on there. Oh my gosh, Arizona. Look at you guys. Michigan. New South Wales. How cool. Cool, cool. All right, so here's our box. Nice and square, chunky, tiny. Let's put the handles on again. Put some adhesive on these. Line it up where you want it to go. Let's go there. Again, lay it down on your grid paper and make sure that it matches one of these lines, any lines, pick a line, just so that you know it's straight. And move him. All right, so he's pretty well centered. Same thing here. Put some adhesive. Now this box is getting really heavy. This one's getting really, not heavy, wide, chunky. It's hard. It's going to be harder to close. So just be careful when you put your handles down. Close them. Bring it over a little bit. Hang on to it. And then pinch it. And then just get in and with your fingers and fix it a little bit. Okay, so there we go. 1, 2, and the original. How fun is that? How fun is that? How fun is that? So for this one, we'll go ahead and dress it up. This one has the Dear Rose stamp on it, so I went ahead and used our 2-inch scallop, our 1 3/4 inch circle, and I used one of our media flowers, these little crocheted flowers on here. These are cool, these are so pretty. You can spray them, you can dye them, you can ink them. And I just put it on a ball keychain and tied a ribbon to it. I will tell you though, that the ball keychain that that they just come, I think, just one standard size at the craft store. It was a little long. I didn't like it, so I cut about, I think, maybe 6 or 7 little balls off of it to shorten it so that it didn't hang down so far. So don't be afraid to modify them. Okay, and now we have our little tag hanging on our box. How's that? Isn't that cute? Super cute. Love it, love it, love it. All right, I'll hold these up here one more time so you can take a little look. This one is the original. This one is putting a new score line in it that is 1/2 inch. And this one is putting a new score line in it that is 1 inch. So it's flat, chunkier, and chunkiest. So like I said, you could probably go, you know, another one and get it even tinier if you wanted to. You just end up with an awful lot of cardstock. We don't need that. And again, this is the card carrier die. Love it. You need it. You really, really need it. All right, so let me show you another one that I did. I did this one for Easter, and I took the Hop Cuts die, and the first thing I did was, this is the smallest one. So I rescored it at 1 inch. Rescored it at 1 inch, put it together, and, or excuse me, put the white liner tape on it and got ready to put it together. And after I scored it so that I know where my middle is, then I laid him on here and I cut him. Only on this one panel, not after it's all assembled, just this one panel. So I just put it on there, cut it out, and I put a piece of window sheet in there so that it's not a hole. And then here's his little tail. This is his little tail. So cute. Love this. Love this guy. And so then if you want to, you can take this that you just punched out and make a little notepad. Attach it to, I attach these to my business card and I hand them out. And these are just little notepads with a little bunny. Something fun for Easter. I tell you what, if you guys purchase a card carrier die on my account, I'll send you one of these. I'll make you a bunny. You can even tell me what color you want. How about that? Okay, so now a couple of days ago I posted a birthday party on my blog and I did a blue one of these, and so that was the 1 inch as well. So you can go back a little bit and take a look. All right, before I turn the camera over and see if there's any questions and say goodbye, I want to show you what I'm going to do next Thursday. Hold on, we must put everything away. Because my new puppy, if I drop it, she'll pick it up and eat it. All right, so next Thursday we're going to do another Facebook Live, and we're going to use the Journey Burst pencils. So these are 2 color burst pencils. There's 2 palettes in here. And if you are wanting to match a specific Fun Stampers Journey color, here's your formula. They're all numbered, so you know which ones to use. And I am going to show you how to use the Journey Burst pencil, color burst pencils to create some gorgeous stuff. So easy, you're just going to die. Super, super easy. So here's some in about every color I could think of, just to make sure we knew how to do it. So that's what we're going to do next Thursday, probably at the same time. All right, I'm going to tip my camera back up. Hold on, please. And there we are. How about that? All right, guys.